What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. With this video, we are jumping into DC vs. Vampires Hunters issue number 1 one-shot. Written by Matthew Rosenberg, the artwork is by Neil Gooch, and the colors Antonio Fabella. After our last issue of DC vs. Vampires, we saw that Nightwing, Dick Grayson, is the freaking Vampire King. When this was exposed, we saw the death of Jason Todd, and Damian Wayne had been turned into a vampire. If you're trying to get completely caught up on this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on the entirety of the series. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we jump into this one-shot, I do want to mention that Deceased will be coming back. I just saw the news for that yesterday and I am freaking excited because the DC vs. Vampires, it's been a lot of fun. The Deceased line, on the other hand, that was amazingly fun. But this story, it starts us with Damian Wayne, the vampire. This picks up sometime after the events of our last issue. This is the fallen city once known as Gotham. This is the seat of power for the Vampire Empire. Picking up with Martian Manhunter. He appears to be trying to evacuate some people to safety, to get them out of this city. That's where we have Damian Wayne enter the picture. Lighting a fire, jumping into that fray. He goes to take on the Martian himself. Damian Wayne is the most feared bounty hunter in the entire kingdom, bringing us to the former Wayne Tower, headquarters of the Global Vampire Coalition. We have Black Mask, who is a desk clerk at this facility. Damian Wayne coming in with his latest catch, having the cloak of Martian Manhunter. He was hoping that this would buy him a ticket to meet up with Dick Grayson, to have a one-on-one with his brother, but also the Vampire King. Mr. Terrific being one of the lieutenants. He lets Damian know that there is only one way to see him. He has to capture one of the king's enemies alive. This is what takes us to an abandoned hideout where the resistance movement is laying underground. This is where we see Alfred and Martian Manhunter. With Damian Wayne making his entrance, what we see is that Damian works for the resistance. They had faked the death of Martian Manhunter, hoping that this would buy him an invitation to meet up with his brother. But having the cloak of a Justice League member, that is simply not enough. He needs to bring someone in alive and kicking. But with the Vampire Nation believing him to be dead, this gives Martian Manhunter a little bit of a step up. Now, of course, this was never his intention. In fact, he wanted the vampires to know he was helping humanity. Now, Damian is still a vampire. He's just not working for the Vampire Coalition. Alfred has been keeping a very steady supply of pig's blood. Damian Wayne is trying to help this resistance and save as many people as possible. But his true goal is to get to Richard. And to do that, he has a plan. A very stupid, a very dangerous, but a very unpredictable plan. With Alfred being on board, he makes his way to Vampire HQ, and he has Alfred inside of a duffel bag. Still alive, still kicking. This is his ticket to the Vampire King. As they get up to the throne room, what we see is a Dick Grayson that looks very different than the one that we once knew. The last time that the two brothers saw one another, Dick Grayson had killed Bruce. He killed Jason, and he turned Damian into this monster. Starting up a conversation with Alfred, what Dick is doing is testing to see if this is actually Alfred. As this conversation goes along, Dick Grayson quickly recognizes that this is not Alfred. This is in fact Martian Manhunter. As they quickly recognize their cover being blown, Damian jumps in to battle his brother. Meanwhile, Martian Manhunter is taking on the likes of Gorilla Grodd and Wonder Girl. and he is 100% out of his league. Because while he may be quick, he may be fast and powerful, these individuals enhance with the abilities of being vampires. He is simply no match for them, but still, he holds his own, giving Damian just enough time to do battle with his brother. But this battle doesn't seem to be going in Damian's favor. Now, Dick Grayson, he's not really trying to fight this. More than anything, he's trying to figure out why Damian is doing this. Trying to see if this is a play for power, or maybe it's just jealousy. Jealous that he wasn't picked to be at his brother's side. Jealous that Dick Grayson is Vampire King and he is not. The truth is, Damian was never jealous of him. Even before they were vampires, he knew that he was going to surpass Nightwing. That he was always going to be the better of the two of them. The plain, simple truth. Dick Grayson killed Bruce Wayne. He killed Damian's father. Having to ask the question, why? He was your father as well, why did you do it? Dick Grayson firmly believing that a stake would have been put in his chest by Bruce Wayne, that he would have never allowed Dick to amount to the power that he has gotten to now. Never allow the vampire world to rise up. And while Damian doesn't believe this to be true, with Dick letting him know that Bruce, he wasn't a very complicated man. Things are really white and black for him. There's not much gray area. And Dick Grayson, he really is right. Bruce Wayne would have done this, regardless of being his son, regardless of being the first Robin. Now, you could argue that Batman would have tried to capture him, but at the end of the day, Dick Grayson would have never gave up. He would have gave Batman no other option but to kill him. Now, while this fight has been going on, our Vampire King, he sent his men to go capture everybody that Damian has been harboring. The truth is, Dick has been onto him for months. He wanted to see how far the little Robin would go. Having Alfred and the other heroes tied up, he now has an ultimatum. He can stay here, he can try and fight Dick Grayson, or he can go rescue his friends. Our Vampire King letting it be known that you will never get another chance at this again. That this will be your last and only opportunity to bring me down. Without hesitation, Damian Wayne hightails it to the bottom of this building, cutting and burning his way through as many vampires that stand in front of him, taking out everybody, including Black Mask. He gets to the room that they are being held in, only to find that all of the heroes except for Alfred have been terminated. Starfire has turned them into nothing but ash. Alfred telling him that he never should have come. Damian jumps in to attack Starfire, taking a huge blast of energy. We see his skin start to peel off, but he is able to get that stake into her chest. With the death of Starfire, we see Damian Wayne on the ground, burnt and close to death, with Alfred unwilling to see him die. He tells him to take his blood. Damian begins to drink from Alfred, and this is when he passes out. Coming into the room is Dick Grayson, but Dick Grayson, he is not here to kill either of them. Offering immortality to Alfred, he lets him know that there is no way in hell that would ever happen. And of course, Dick Grayson, he knew that was going to be the answer, but he wanted to try. He tries apologizing to Alfred for everything that has happened. Alfred does not want to hear it though. Now, Dick Grayson, he doesn't really know why he is here. He doesn't really know what he wants done with Alfred or Damian, but he is certain of one thing. He wants to make sure that Alfred is going to take care of Damian. Of course, this is going to throw Alfred for a loop. He doesn't really understand what game the Vampire King is playing at, but he is insisting that this is no game. He is going to let both of them walk out of here. The truth is, neither of them are ever going to be a threat again. He has put contingencies in place to ensure that this is never a possibility. What he really wants to know is that Damian is going to be okay. The truth is, they have immortality. This is forever. He also knows that he needs human beings. They have to share this planet. This is their main food source. He believes that Damian Wayne might be the key to all of it. to finding some kind of balance between these two worlds. Because of all the vampires that are out there, he has something that none of them, not even the Vampire King, has. And that is compassion. Not really sure why he is different, believing maybe this has something to do with Alfred being there when he turned. With Alfred going ahead and picking up Damian Wayne, our Vampire King makes him promise that he will take care of young Robin. This is the only stipulation he has for letting them walk out, promising this to Dick Grayson. They say their goodbyes, and that is the end of this issue. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. It does say the end ? Which means there is a possibility of getting more to this story. This is a one-shot. It is in the future, but it doesn't let us know how far in the future. Honestly, I'd probably guesstimate that there's been a couple months, maybe a year or two has gone by, because the world did fall relatively quickly. One issue I have with everything going on with this story is that Superman had been turned, which means if Superman has been turned, how could any of these heroes possibly operate? How could there be any hiding place for anybody? While Damian Wayne definitely could maintain his cover, I don't think that there would be an ability for a resistance movement. And to some extent, I guess that is true, because Nightwing had known about their operation for months. He was just letting it go on. But with Dick Grayson also being the Vampire King, he can keep people like Superman in check. There's even a good possibility that they use kryptonite or something of that nature and they killed Superman. Because just like the Flash, he might be too dangerous to be kept alive. Hopefully they're gonna go into more detail about all of that in future issues. It is nice to see Dick Grayson thinking methodically. He's thinking about the future. They are immortal, which means that they are gonna live forever. They have to maintain their food source. They have to find a way to coexist and allow humanity to be eaten. They have to allow themselves to be eaten. And they also have to keep the vampires in check. There has to be a balance. It's nice to see that the Vampire King, he's not out here just trying to kill and take over everything. Though they technically are taking over everything. They're not trying to just massacre humanity. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the Super Thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.